Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching us from. Very excited once again to come in front of you to just share a few things about money. Financial wholeness and well-being is our concern, and that's what we endeavor to ensure that we pass you information that will work on you and help you and change you to a better person financially. Initially, we said that we are in three stages. The people that are financially astute and they're excellent in their financial management skills. There are those that are in between, they're not excellent, and there are those that are ailing, and we say they're ill. And we say that our aim is to move us from where we are, if you're ill, to getting in between and even getting excellent and better. That's our aim and our desire. Last week we talked about marriages and finances, and if you've not been able to watch that show, you can go ahead and watch that show. We also talked about how it's important to manage your finances, and many other materials that we've shared. It's important to share, and there are wonderful other guests that are talking about businesses, others that are talking about wisdom, others that are talking about marriage on this station. And it's important to also get to learn, because wholeness is our desire. Today I just want to talk from my heart. I was telling the producer that I had planned a show, and it's important to also plan and do that. But then again, I felt it's important to share about one very important topic, and I hope we're able to learn a few things. 2 weeks ago, one musician passed on and was ill, and people after the time that he was they were organizing for his burial, people gave a lot of money. But what surprised people is that there was the time that he was ill and reached out to people to help him fund. He actually even organized a harambe, or a fundraiser, to help him get money for an operation that he was to do out of the country. People never showed up. He said he was very frustrated and very, very disappointed. That time, he was in need. People never gave. When he passed on, people show up and they give a lot of money to support him. He's gone. He's dead. That's just one example. Another person, same script, different person, was unwell, reached out to people, and people never helped him. He got into depression. After some time, he passed on. And when he passed on, people were ready out there and were willing to give a lot of money when he had died. There was also this particular week that has passed on. One individual, I'll not mention the name, came out and said, "I'm struggling. I'm fighting lack of money and resources, and I'm in need. I'm in need because I have run out of money. The financial buffer that I had has run out. Whatever it is, the people who say he was a drunkard and all that, but the individuals who were touched by that rallying call to help him and support him, and people have come and have contributed and have given monies towards his upkeep and towards his family." I know the last example. I'll share the last example. I know an individual that was captured at a particular moment, and his photo united the country at that particular moment. And there was a lot of money. There were deals that came in, and he was given a lot of money. And unfortunately, after being given all those funds, he misused the funds. He started drinking, and he started engaging in very unreasonable behavior, risky behaviors. Went to rehab. He's out of rehab, has recovered, and is back on track because he got help. What I'm talking about today is giving. It's important to give. And someone will ask me, why give? And I will reply to them, you give because you can, and you give because you should. It's important to realize and acknowledge the fact that whatever it is that you have doesn't belong to you. Whatever monies that you have, whatever health, body that you have, anything that you have. I know people have worked hard, have gotten a lot of monies and have gotten deals, but that money doesn't belong to you. The day that you will drop dead, you'll realize that you have no control of bringing your life back. Your life belongs to someone supreme, someone almighty, someone great. Depending on, it doesn't matter which religion you believe in, but your life does not belong to you. He made the universe, he created the universe. It doesn't matter which theory you subscribe to. The fact is, the world and the universe belongs to a higher being, belongs to a superpower, and that is God. And God gave us all that we have. So why do you want to have an issue with giving something that doesn't belong to you? You give because it is important for you to give, and because you should give. Now, who do you give to? I remember one time I'm working with another friend of mine, and there was this street kid that came to us and was reaching out to us to help them have money. And I remember speaking to my friend and telling my friend, if you give this kid money, they're going to they're going to buy glue, and they're going to sniff it, and it's going to ruin their life. And my friend looked at me on my face and told me, who made you a judge of who or what they should do with what you give? You're not giving to man. Of course, you're giving to a human being, but the responsibility of what they do with the money lies with God. You give and walk away. You give because God desires for you to give. It touches God when you give. We have different kinds of people that you should give, and when you give to these people, there are blessings that come to you. I know of a particular religion that believes that one of the pillars of that religion is giving. I know of another religion that believes in giving, and many other facets. There are many other religious issues, but giving is one of them. There is also the Bible that talks about people that you give, and when you give to them, you're lending to God. These are orphans. These are widows. When you give to orphans and take care of orphans and widows, you give to God. Right now, we're in a dispensation and a period that we've had people losing their jobs. We've had people losing their sanity because of the pressures of life. Life has the sources of income, as I had shared on my previous two shows, the sources of income have reduced, and the demands of the day are still the same. And you have people struggling with very reduced incomes against responsibilities and expenses that are not changing. And with all this, it's important to note that you should reach out to these people before they fall and run into depression. And as I said, when you lend to the poor, when you lend to the widows, when you lend to the orphans, when you give to the orphans, when you give to the widows, when you give to the poor, you are investing in God. You are investing that money in God, and God has a way of paying you back. And then I remember someone was asking, why should I, another category of people that you need to give to, why should I give to my parents? My parents are doing okay, they have money, and I don't see why I should support them. Let me tell you, it's important to note that when you give to your parents, when you honor your parents, whether they have money or they do not have money, just reach out to them. Sometimes you find siblings fighting to give, to show off, and to compete into who has a way into their parents. And I remember there was one show that had said even parents have a responsibility of making sure that they don't bring in conflict, favoring one kid over another. It's important to support your parents. It's important to give to your parents. We see that sometimes you'll find that the kids have supported their mother and they have left out their father. It's important to give to both because God allowed them to be your parents. Whether you had issues with them, whether you fought with them, when you honor them, there's a blessing that comes to you because God has already given them to you as your parents. And then when you give, do not expect things in return. Give. Whether you're given back by God or not, just give. There's a particular saying that says, Tenda wema, nenda zako. Do good and walk away. And God in his own way, he will bless you. God in his own way, he will come through for you. God in his own way, he will elevate you. And then as we talk about monies and finances and budgeting, and we talk about saving for projects and saving for expenses and ensuring that you have a fund, a financial buffer to take care of you in the times of need. It's also important to ensure, even as you give to God the tithes and offerings, if you're a Christian, or you give to God what you call sadaqah, if you're a Muslim, or whichever religion, when you're giving to God, it's also good to put in some money in your budget that takes care of the needy, that takes care of the widows, that takes care of the orphans. And when you do this, you are investing in God's work. You are investing in humanity. And sometimes these things will not come back in form of money. God pays you back in terms of maybe a good health. You find yourself not going to hospital. You find yourself, God keeping you away from gangsters and molesters. God have a way of paying you back. So as you save, make sure that you set aside some amounts for giving, because it is important. Someone was saying that even as you give, you don't give what you don't have. But I remember of a particular person who said, I will not just give God 10%, I will give God 20, went ahead, give God 70, went ahead, gave God 90, and he was left with 10, and the 10 was still enough for them, because God has a way of ensuring that you expand and you grow. He opens up doors that not in human nature you're not able to open up those doors. The benefits of giving. You might have little amounts of money and you think these amounts of money will not make incomes, will not make a difference, not incomes, will not make a difference in someone's life. All you need to do is just take that step and give. What is little to you is a lot to someone else. You will impact someone else's life for what you think that is little. I remember there's this particular time I'd gone to a restaurant and I had ordered for a cake, and this particular chef came and told me, I gave you something bigger than what you expected to have because I felt it's important for you to have a bigger cake, and I out of the goodness of my heart, just to appreciate this chef, I sent the chef some money, and he gave me a number to send. The following morning, when I'm going for breakfast, he comes to me very excited and tells me, I am so grateful for the monies that you send me. And actually, my wife is going to withdraw that money, and that money is going to buy us bread. To me, it was little. To them, it was a lot. And actually, that particular evening, the wife called me and told me, it was we were very grateful as a family for the amounts that you gave to us. To me, it was little. To them, it was a lot. So to you, it may be little. But nevertheless, whether it's little or not, just give it out. It will make a difference to someone's life. I remember there was one time I was short of transport money. I was using public transport. I was short. And someone came and just gave me 10 shillings. And that made a big difference, because I was able to get to my destination. I was short for 10 shillings. And 10 shillings is a small amount to some people. but to someone else, it's a big amount. Look for opportunities to give. Look for opportunities to give, whether little or a lot. It's important to give. Fund your mosque, fund your church, fund your temple if they're building or constructing. Go out in the community, support the children's homes, support the needy in the community. Go out of your way for your neighbor, whether they appreciate or they do not. Just give. Look for opportunities to give, because it is important to give, because what you're giving actually doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God. And I hope that this will challenge you to get out of your way, give and give some more. And when we get to our destination, which is heaven or whatever else you believe in, God will reward us. God will reward us here and will reward us in heaven. So I would appeal to you, look for opportunities to give. There are many opportunities. There are many projects you can fund. There are people who are trying to come up with things that will help the community. People that are trying to come up with business ideas that are going to transform lives. Come in, support them. Not because of the returns. I know it's important to look at the returns, but God has given you money and that resource for you to make a difference. Make a difference. I remember right now when we're looking at COVID vaccine, we've seen people giving. We've seen people giving to, it's very expensive to look for vaccines, but we've seen people out of the goodness of their heart going an extra mile to invest in those companies, to invest in those industries, to ensure that the world is changed, that we get rid of this COVID pandemic. It's important to give. Whichever place you are in, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're in between, you have no reason not to give. Because what is a lot to you, or what is small to you, is a lot to someone else. God bless you and continue giving, and may you have a wonderful, wonderful evening and a wonderful night and a wonderful morning and a wonderful day. And may God put the burden in you to give. Because when you give, we make the world a better place. Thank you very much and good evening.
Wema TV, the voice of hope.